Well, welcome everybody. This is Nikki Keohoho, CEO and co-founder of the DSWA. I'm so happy that you're with us tonight for Stop Being the Answer Queen or King, because we got some kings on the line with us tonight, and I'm happy about that. So everyone, this is your chance to really get a new view of the way we do business. I invite you to take out a paper and pen and take some notes, so that this can be a part of your learning for today and for always. I see Christine's got hers up and ready to go. So proud of you. And I'm happy to see so many people that I haven't seen before. So welcome, and let me know, type into the box what company you're with or who invited you, because some of you, this is your first time, and we do these free webinars every month, and we do a little $29 webinar every month, and we want to see you more. So show up at lots of Thermomix people. I knew they shared that. USANA, so glad that you're here with us. DIG Direct, some new companies, Juice Plus, yay. Oh, they're coming in so fast. Mary Kay, Touchstone. Yes, I'm so thankful that you're with us. So let's get started. We got a lot to go over tonight in a very short period of time. So how many of you want to give up your answer queen or king crown? Raise your hand if that's you. You want to stop being the one that they call for everything. And by the way, this is your children, your partner, this is everybody in life. When you get really good at being the one that has all the answers, you know what happens? They come to you for everything. Cindy, I'm glad you're here. From Luca, thanks for joining us. So here are some new thoughts. Are you tired of everyone needing you for direction? Sometimes we didn't even realize this, but we created this situation because when people come to us, what we do is we say, well, it's over here. Or, Mommy, where's my socks? Oh, they're in the sock drawer. Or where do I find what the special is this month? Oh, go, it's the such and such. Or we just keep giving them the answers. What we maybe don't realize is that we're creating a codependent relationship. Go look that up after the seminar. Codependency, it's a scary thought. But sometimes we don't realize by us wanting to be of service to others, and another way of saying that is we want to help others. Sometimes by helping others, we create helpless people that lean on us and lean on us and lean on us until we're down and out. I don't think you want that. What would it be like to have independent people? People that could think for themselves. People that could figure things out. People that realized you knew how smart they were and capable they were and what they could do and accomplish, that they didn't have to come to you for everything. How much more time would you have in a day? And let me just ask you this. How much more energy would you have at the end of the day? You're not exhausted from everybody needing you. That's what I'm talking about here. This is your chance to learn something new. And by the way, what happens when you give an answer that doesn't work? It's your fault. They don't have to take responsibility. They don't have to own that thing at all. They don't own it. You do. So there's simple ways to get people to think for themselves. Simple ways to have people realize that you're not going to give them all the answers, that they're capable. And this is their own business, folks. They are the CEO of their own company. They are the executive of their own company. They don't work for us, they work with us. And again, if we're giving all the answers, they won't think for themselves. And part of that is they don't have to own any responsibility if it doesn't work. So getting good at this takes practice. And by the way, this is every area of our life. What you're going to learn tonight is not just for your business, it's for your personal life too. Some people that are the answer queen or king, your extended family comes to you for everything. They want you to fix things. They're waiting for you to have the answer, to have the solution. And they lean on you for all of that until at some point you're exhausted and you just stop communicating. And that's not good either. So now's the time for us to step up and learn how to ask those questions. So How does asking questions versus giving all the answers empower people? I'm curious what you think this is. Type into the box if you have a thought. How does asking questions versus giving all the answers empower people? They feel smart. They feel capable. They feel more in charge of their life. It increases their self-esteem. They don't become dependent on others. They flex their brain. We get them to think and engage. Boy, lots of good answers here. It makes them use their own brain. True. It helps them rationalize and figure things out. Thank you, Christine. They start thinking for themselves. Very true, Julia. Megan says they're more likely to remember it because it was their idea. They're more likely to do something because it was their thought. They attach themselves to the solution themselves. Golly, you guys are really smart. Some of you may have taken a class already. They're responsible for the outcome. We're not responsible for anybody else's outcome. And in coaching, you learn how to release the outcome. Because if you hold on to the outcome, you are always trying to fix things and tell people what to do. Now, I know some of you are thinking, how can I let go of the outcome when my income is based on their outcome? I know you're thinking that. I'm just going to tell you, your income will increase when you let go of the outcome. You're not in charge of everybody else's lives. They are. How about prepares them to search for themselves? You see, your brain, it works 6 to 7 times harder to find an answer than it does with any statement. So the brain doesn't really have to work when you just give them a bunch of statements of what they need to do and how to fix it. They are more likely to come up with their own solution. Very, very true, Andrea. Thank you. They find their ways of doing things. Kington, thank you so much. That was really profound. They find their best way because your way may not be their best way. That's what's beautiful about our profession and the business that we're in, is that people get to be independent contractors. They get to run their own business. And by the way, nobody joined direct selling so they could have a boss that could tell them what to do. They joined because they didn't want a boss. And if you're giving all the answers and what to do, you're turning into the boss. That is not what they want. People will walk away, and that's not a good thing for any of us in our business. Here's another thought from Paula. You are teaching them a very valuable life skill, finding their own solutions. How many of you want your adult children coming back from college to have you do their laundry? They come home with their little basket because they haven't learned how to do the laundry themselves. You know, how many years do you want that to happen? You see, the outcome that happens when we don't let go of the outcome may not be something we really were looking for. So thoughts around this are, be good at asking questions that empower people. And these are called empowering and powerful questions. And wait till you find out what all that means. So, what happens when they create their own answers? You can type in there, you've probably got some other ideas. What happens when they create their own answers? That is their truth. That is their truth. That is what they believe. They own them. We're building their self-esteem. Boy, we got so many good people. Chelsea, thank you. They feel empowered. And they will be accountable to themselves because it was their idea. We increase their confidence. Thank you so much, Donna. And Katie says they learn and are more likely to remember the lesson. That is true. If we fix everything for our kids, they don't learn any lessons and they just keep making the same things the same way that maybe aren't working for them. They are inspired from within because inspiration comes from inside. Mary, so happy to have you with us. Andrea says they are also more likely to actually do it because they came up with it. All of those things are true. How wonderful to know that with one skill, it actually really takes two skills, but one skill of those empowering and powerful questions and asking those beautiful questions, one skill can make a big difference in people's lives. The second skill is heart-centered listening, listening to what they're saying so that they feel heard. That we are not going to go into that tonight. We're sticking on this answer queen and king because our profession is made up of millions of people that think their job is to have the answers. They don't even get started in the business sometimes because they think they don't know enough. So they never do anything. That's dangerous for all of us, folks. How can you grow a big team when you are the answer queen? When they come to you for everything? How many calls can you do in a day? How many times can you repeat the same thing? You know, what's the special this month? What's the shipping policy? What's the shipping policy? What's the shipping policy? Week after week after week. Oh, anybody tired of that one? Here's what happens, folks. If we don't teach the fishermen and women how to fish, they keep coming back to you to give them the fish. Sitting there waiting. And I'll tell you what, you disempowered them and maybe didn't even know it. I'm going to tell you a quick story here because this is an interesting thing that happened to my son. And he's a grown adult now, but when he was a young man, and some of you may have experienced this, he would forget his shoes, his tennis shoes for PE day, or he would forget, his lunch. And I would go take him to lunch, and I would go take, I didn't want him to go without a lunch. I didn't want him to get a demerit. I didn't do those things. And one day he called me up and he said, "Mom, I need a quiche. I was supposed to bring a quiche to school." I said, "Oh my, what are you going to do about that?" He goes, "Well, I talked to the teacher and she said you could take me to the store to get a quiche." And I thought, well, that was kind of presumptuous of the teacher because maybe I couldn't. But I said, "Here's the deal. This is the last time I'm going to rescue you. And it's you are responsible for the quiche. So whatever it costs is coming out of your piggy bank." He goes, "Well, okay, I'll do it." We go to the store, we go to the frozen section, and there's frozen quiche. And he goes, "That's $16. I said, "Yeah, that's kind of expensive. When you don't plan and you didn't make it, then you sort of have to pay the top dollar. That's kind of hard, isn't it?" And he goes, "Yeah, that's hard." He goes, "Okay, I'll buy it." So we're in the car going back to the school. And he goes, "Mom, it's frozen." I said, "Wow, that could be kind of crunchy." And he goes, "I need to thaw it out." I said, "Well, how are you going to do that?" Now, this was a big shift for me in the way I did things. He took it out of the box and hung it out the window. It was kind of a warm day to have it thaw. I think a few flies hit it, but it was not a good situation. So here he is with the little quiche out the window. We get there, he goes, "It's still frozen." So that's up to you with how you're going to figure this out to be able to do what you said you volunteered to do. And so that's your decision with what you do there. And he did talk the ladies in the cafeteria to warming it up. And he came home that night. And he goes, "Mom, I felt bad that you were doing that to me, but I really did get what you were doing. It's my responsibility, especially if I volunteer for something. It's not yours. So I'm not going to call you again. And if I slip up and I do, I know what you're going to say. What are you going to do about that?" We must be messengers. Lessons for life. Not doing everything for everybody. We create codependency and they don't learn how to go forward on their own. This person said, "I've been doing this with my kids and their library books to start, even though it kills me, but they need to learn." It's true. And the fines come out of their pocket. And being accountable, that's exactly right. The best lesson ever. I love this so much. Thank you. Here's the thing. We are in a place as parents, as business owners, as entrepreneurs, to empower people and have people surrounding us that are take charge people that step up. I know you want that. You don't want people that you have to hold their hand and drag them along. So use the skills to empower them. Use the skills to get them to learn how to think for themselves. Part of this is asking open-ended questions. Open-ended questions. So those are questions. Who has an idea? Put it in the box. If you think you know what an open-ended question is, type it into the box there. Because most people ask closed-ended questions and don't even realize that. And closed-ended questions are words that lead people to a dead end. They lead you to a dead end. So an open-ended question would begin with who, what, when, where, or how. They're questions that cannot be answered with a yes or a no. Thank you. It requires an answer other than yes or no. Oh boy, you all had this down. So it's everyone learning that an open-ended question requires that person to think. Thank you, Anna, for that comment. You are fast typers, I can tell that. So open-ended questions begin with who, what, when, where, or how. And I just want to tell you a closed-ended question. Who has an idea of what a sentence would begin with that was a closed-ended question? What would that sentence begin with? Do you want to get started? Can you make that happen? You know, is that okay to do? Did you do that? Did you do what you said you were going to do? Will you do that? Would you do that? Should you do that? So that is all a part of it. So are you looking for anything in particular? Ah, I'm not looking for anything in particular. If that was a question for me, I'm looking for who knows what these are so that you can start practicing. Now I'm going to tell you something about those closed-ended questions. We have a class that's coming up at, I think in the end of this month, and you'll see it under events, that we go in depth into that difference. So what are those closed-ended questions? And you're going to learn how to move a closed-ended question to be an open-ended question. And that is going to make a big difference for you. So what happens when you use open-ended questions? Anybody? What are your thoughts? Type it into the box. Yeah. Oh, here, this Kimberly said this when she was saying, are you looking for anything in particular? She said, when you walk into shops, that's what people say, and it is so true. Or can I help you? No, I'm just looking. Are you looking for anything in particular? No, I'm just looking. You don't get the people to talk. If somebody worked in a shop and anybody just took 2 minutes with them to teach those salespeople how to ask an open-ended question, we're glad you came in today. What in particular are you looking for? Or what interests you the most out of this department? Anything to get people to talk. So closed-ended questions, close the conversation, slam the door shut. They are not even involved anymore. Oh, when you ask and use open-ended questions, you open the door for conversation. You open the door to hear what they have to say. You open the door to understand them. You open the door for them to be able to figure things out for themselves and to see how smart they are. You open the door. Who wants the door slammed shut in their face? Nobody. That's an important thing to understand. What happens when you use open-ended questions is you invite people to participate in the conversation. And in coaching, that's how you learn. That's how you can be of service. That's how you can support somebody, is because you have given them an opportunity to share what they're really thinking or feeling. Now, we have a lot of people that use these questions and they don't even realize. So type in the box if you have an idea. What is a leading question? What is a leading question? A leading question is a question that takes people where you want them to go. Or maybe it is, how can we make this happen? Well, doesn't it clear when you go to the doctor, we have a cold today? Oh, if you have a cold, I don't want to be here. So the idea is we are asking them to think for themselves with an open-ended question. When we're asking a leading question, we're leading them where we want them to go. So that question is based on an outcome you want, not necessarily what they want. Thank you, Donna. That is really true. It might sound like this. Wouldn't it be a good idea to get on the phone and call 10 people this week? You might, even have a lead. And then we think they said yes and they didn't say anything. And then we're mad that they didn't call those 10 people. Another leading question. Isn't it great to know that this product can cure cancer? By the way, you'd never want to say that. Isn't it great to know that this is just a fabulous product? You want them to say yes, but maybe they have a question about the product or they don't even know what the product's about. What was your favorite flavor or tea if you were selling tea? What was your favorite flavor? What was your favorite skincare product tonight? They're questions that are getting them to answer their truth, not me leading them into the corner that I want them to go to. And here's a great question from Terry Hatch. Terry, I haven't heard from you in a long time. I'm so glad you're back. What would you like to know first? When you sit down with someone, what's the most important thing for you to learn tonight? What would you like to know first? We can't lead people where they don't want to go. They will follow temporarily and then exit. They won't stay with you. Here's another thought. A leading question is a question which subtly prompts the respondent to answer in a particular way, the way you want them to answer. It isn't fair to people. And couldn't you get excited about this? They think they're supposed to say yes. So they say yes, and they're not excited at all. And then you're upset that they're not excited when they don't do anything with what they've got. It's very interesting, the people that do this, they've been taught that. And in some companies, they were taught it for years to ask leading questions to get people to say yes. Leading questions to get people to go where you want them to go. If I get them to say yes 5 times, then they'll never say no. Then you're not really hearing the truth. I would really rather know how somebody's feeling, what they're thinking, what's going on in their head, what questions they have, than trying to put them in a corner to say what I want them to say. Good coaches do not do that. And I know some of you don't even know what coaching is. I get that. There's a lot of things on our website you can study to learn about coaching. That's not what this particular class is about. It's about one skill, and we call it empowering and powerful questions. But that one skill, without listening and knowing where that person is going, won't do you any good. So learn to ask open-ended questions. When your kids come home from school, instead of saying, have a great day today, they think they're supposed to say yes, and maybe it was a cruddy day. Or we say, how was your day? And they know they're supposed to say fine. Ask a different question. What was the best thing that happened at school today? What are you most excited about school? Maybe someone just held their first event in your business. What do you feel went well? What were your learning experiences? That's different. They will talk to you, especially when you listen to them, because then they believe that it's not just lip service. It's beyond that. It's you really care about them. What was your favorite thing that happened today? Is always a good question. Especially if someone is going down a rabbit hole, oh, nothing's working in my business. I can't sponsor anybody. Nobody wants to buy any products, and I can't get a hold of anybody on the phone. Those negative Nellies or negative Neds that just, blah, 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 blah. Here's a question that will go snap in their brain and shift their thinking without them even knowing it. So what one thing is working for you? What one thing is going well for you in your business right now? Or how would you prefer your business to be going right now? You're moving their thoughts to something more that will serve them. So leading questions are not the answer, folks. And I say a lot, questions are the answer. It is not leading questions. So some opportunities to ask great questions. When somebody is stuck, and you can type into the box anything you think of, when's a good time to ask a great question. In an interview, seek first to understand, then to be understood. Ask those questions so you really understand them, so you know how to be of service to them. And by the way, you're going to get this recording. Anybody that signed up for the course gets the recording. So you're going to be able to go back through this again and take notes. I know I talk fast because I have a limited amount of time, and I really want to get in as much as I can. But listen to it again. You'll hear it differently. So some other great opportunities to ask great questions. So an interview, when someone is stuck, when someone doesn't know what's wrong, something is wrong and they don't know what it is. I just had somebody that said they lost their enthusiasm for their business. It's boring now. And through a series of questions, what I asked her, she realized it wasn't that she was boring. It was boring. It was that she didn't have a new emotional why, a new reason to do this. So she was stuck. Big common reason why people are stuck. After an event, what was your favorite part of the event? Also, for you to ask yourself, self-coaching questions are so powerful. Something maybe you just had an event and you just didn't think it went well. You might ask yourself, what one or two things could I have done differently tonight that would have given a better result? And I ask that to other people all the time. Whenever I do a speech at a convention, can't wait to be back at those conventions. There's none happening except for virtual. But I always ask that CEO, if there are one or two things I could have done differently tonight that would have given you, the company, and the people a better result, what would that be? And they sometimes say, I can't think of anything. Well, take a few minutes to think about it and then come grab me when you've thought about it. That's better. I'm better to do it that way than to say, well, if you think about it a little bit and something comes to you, please email me. I'd love to hear that. They don't email. They got off on to something else. So I give them a few minutes then and they come back. Just know that that is not, you have given permission to receive compassionate feedback. That's a different coaching skill. That's a good thing to do. If something you're sensing that your partner is frustrated with you or something is going on, in a gentle voice, because the way you say things really matters. If you say, honey, I'm sensing that maybe you're upset with me and I really don't know if I did something that did that. Can you tell me what that was? At least you opened up the door for conversation. What was that or what happened? Anything. And if you say, well, what's bugging you? That's probably not going to go anywhere. I know some of us have a little drama in our life. Try to leave the drama at the door when there's something not going well. So there's lots and lots of opportunities to ask questions. So when will you give up your crown and empower more people? I know some of you can't wait to have your own crown. That's good. This is not the crown you want to wear. It's the disempowerment crown. So when are you going to give it up? How will you give it up? It's starting somewhere. It's not just stepping out there and just being that person that just keeps, telling people what to do and having all the answers. That's a heavy load to take because with that is responsibility. Think about that. Now, this call is supposed to be a half an hour, and I'm on a half an hour, but I'm not going to give it up. I'm going to stay on here because I want those of you that would like to be coached live or have questions to be able to get through that. And I'll stay on extra for all of you. I want to, before I go there, let you know to learn more. We have a brand new class, and we've been doing this class privately for companies for some time. In fact, company we just did this for got the biggest contract they have ever got. It's not a direct selling company, a $1.8 million contract that they earned after they went through this class. And I'm not saying you're going to go sell $1.8 million worth of whatever it is that you're doing. I'm just saying they saw results because they learned the coach approach for sales and service. That class will never be $299 again. It's an introductory special. You can find it by going to dswa.org/service to save your spot. And it's going to be very interactive. It's an 8-part class and you get recordings. You can go back and listen. You have a workbook that you'd go through. It's a great opportunity. So write that down, dswa.org/service, or you can just go to the events page on the website. So let's practice. Learn, practice, improve. That's for everybody. Learn, practice, and improve. I've got a couple of questions that have come up in here. And one of them is I'm stuck on what to say for follow-up to parties. Now, Deborah, was that at the party or was that after the party? You know, it's important to follow up with people no matter what. When you follow up, it says, I care. That's what you're saying. I care. Put a little sticker on your phone that says, I called because I care. I care about you. And it's not following up to say, well, you're ready to order. I know you didn't order at the party. So are you going to order now? What do you need? I'll take your order. That's not what I'm saying. Follow up. So what products did you enjoy the most? You know, what one or two things did you have on your wish list that maybe you didn't get? Who do you know that would enjoy these products? Who would you like to share these products with? Now, if you're in a party plan, who do you know that would enjoy, getting products free or half price? Those are questions to ask. And I never be afraid to ask this and be ready for what one or two things could I have done differently in that virtual party that we just did that you think would have given the people better results and me better results. And zip your lip, lock it, and listen. Don't make excuses. None of that. Let's see. After the event, what was your favorite part of the event? That was good. So others are sharing. I love that. Thank you. Thank you. Amazing content. I've signed up and I'm very excited. Good for you, Chelsea. I'm glad you're going to be in the course. Thank you, Nikki, for everyone's comments. This has been super helpful. All of these things are important. Now, what I'm going to say, if there's somebody that would like to be coached live on anything, maybe you have a limiting belief about something. Maybe you have a challenge. Maybe you're being invited to do something and you really don't want to do it and you don't know how to say no. All of us, oh, I love this imposter syndrome. That can be. Anybody, unmute yourself. I see some good things. A good follow-up question is, what has surprised you the most today? That is a good question. What is an imposter? Who would like to be coached? Unmute yourself and speak up and I'll find you. We have a lot of people on the call tonight. Anybody?
I'll go.
Who was this?
Kimberly Totori.
Kimberly, I'm so glad you're with us. So what would you like to be coached around?
Okay, I'm gonna start my video, and you see my photo there.
I'm scrolling through a lot of people here, Kimberly.
Okay,
I
well,
see you, Kimberly
okay.
Totori.
Now
Yes.
this is the imposter syndrome. Watch when I turn my video on. Hi,
Now
I don't look like that photo.
just a second. Now you disappeared on me, so I'm going to go find you again. Stay right there. We want to
I
see
went to
you.
the bottom.
Okay, so I still can't get to you for some reason. I don't know why, but that's okay.
My imposter syndrome is age, having everything supposedly looking perfect when you go on lives, speaking. I don't feel inside I have the confidence. Although people don't perceive that, truly inside, I don't have the confidence. I have been battling something from my childhood, and I've been told people don't perceive me the way that I say I perceive myself.
Mm-hmm. Well, thank you, Kimberly, for speaking up. I really appreciate that. And I found you and I can see you, and you're a beautiful soul and a beautiful woman. You have a beautiful smile. Only thing, this is only one suggestion. It's for everybody. Have a light shine on your face. We
Oh,
want to see you. And when you have a light, you can see your expressions, and that's beautiful. So Kimberly, now I'm going to move to coaching for a minute. So Kimberly, what makes you think that people are judging you?
I think it's all, I just was talking about this with Mita, my sponsor here, how it's so fast paced today that we end up looking at everybody else's lane and not staying in my own lane. And then I start comparing myself to what other people are doing. And
Yeah.
then I start feeling yucky about what I'm doing.
Kimberly, when you meet people, what makes you decide if you like them or want to do business with them? The way they look or who they are?
Uh, who they are, personality, and if they are showing an interest.
So that they're interesting, that who they are matters more to you. And that is for most people. So first of all, I'm going to step outside of coaching because there's an opportunity here for everybody. And I just saw Ellen Schlichting. I haven't seen you in years. I'm so glad you're here. Thank you, honey, for joining us. But I'm going to go back over to this whole thing around for everybody, just to think about for a minute. There are two types of comparison. We have inclusive comparison, exclusive comparison. And Kimberly, what I'm hearing from you is that you exclusively sort people. I'm not like her, she has this. I'm not like her, she has a supportive husband, I don't. And I'm just giving an example. I'm not like her, she's so beautiful, I'm not. I'm not like her, she has a college degree, I don't. You compare yourself with differences from one to the other. You're different. People that use inclusive sorting find where you have something like that person. So I don't know you, Kimberly, other than these few seconds, but I would say if I was inclusively sorting with you, I'm like you, Kimberly. I really want to reach out and learn everything I can. I'm like you, Kimberly, that I can be transparent and not be afraid of what everybody else is going to think. I'm like you, Kimberly, that you care deeply for people and it shows up. So when you sort inclusively, what's basically happening is you see greatness in others and it helps you to see greatness in yourself. Now, staying in your own lane, when you're finding out where you're not enough, you're not even driving the car. You're not in your lane. And I think you know that. So let's go back for one other thing. What is most important for you right now? Having people see you a certain way, the way you look, or seeing you a certain way in who you are being?
For me, I think it's a combination of both.
Mm-hmm. So if anybody can type into the box here if you'd like to participate, what do you see? What are the qualities that you see in Kimberly? Type them
Okay.
into the box. Fearless, friendly, type a word, honest, confident. Now that's interesting because it took confidence to do this. Approachable, vulnerable, brave, warm, open. I mean, the list is going on and on and on, Kimberly. Those are qualities. And in coaching, that's called I see you acknowledgement. I see who you are being. I see the person inside of you. That's what most people remember about someone. And by the way, as we become not senior citizens, as we become women of wisdom, that's when you hit a certain age level. When you become a woman of wisdom, things move downhill. I mean, it's like it just the bottom falls out, if you know what I mean. You're never going to look the same as you did when you were 20. Get a current picture of who you are today. This is the way you look today. And that's you. That's not an imposter. That's you. And having a picture that's who I was a little while ago. That's okay. The difference is you owning your own strengths and who you are. Brave to have courage to open up to a group like we have today. Courageous, courageous to surface, real. Thank you. Authentic. This is a great topic. Kim, thank you for bringing this up, sweetheart, brave. You have a lot of support here, honey.
I'm
So
tearing
other
up
people
a
see
little bit
things in
here.
you that I'm not hearing you see in yourself. Sometimes we do not speak well to ourselves. Sometimes our own worst critic is ourself. That's called the inner critic. That's the thing that just keeps screaming at us. And quieting that inner critic, sometimes I'll just say, you're out of here, baby. You are gone. I'm not listening to this. This is who I am. And I'll repeat it in a different way. Everybody has doubts. It's what you do with when that thought comes up that makes a difference. So Kimberly, when those thoughts come up tonight, tomorrow, the next day, how are you going to handle that?
I'm going to think of you
That's
and our
thoughtful.
group
And
and
what
our group.
else?
Yeah, our group, and just seeing what was typed is kind of surprising.
Mm. People believe in you. And sometimes we just don't believe in ourselves. So we think it's lack of confidence. It's not coming from the outside, it's coming from inside of us. Now, I want everybody to know this. I did coaching training, and it's because we're in a group like this. That's not, when you're in a coaching conversation with someone, you stay in coaching and you do that conversation. And so that wasn't a good model of how to do that. I just needed to engage a lot of different people, and that's why I did it that way. And it wasn't the best with making sure you know what exactly coaching is. So I'm going to give you some questions to ponder. This is also a good way to close out a coaching conversation, that you don't want to leave that person open. You want to have them get something that they can take with them and think about and come up with their own answers. So here's a couple of thoughts. How can I honor myself? And this for anybody where your confidence maybe is waning. You're not quite where you want to be with your confidence. How can I honor myself? What am I most proud of that I accomplished or did today? What am I most proud of that I accomplished or did today? Because some of you do not celebrate. I know you. Well, got that done, but I didn't get this done and that done and this done. And you go on a whole list. You dishonor yourself. What one thing can I do tomorrow to grow my confidence? What one thing can I do or think tomorrow that will grow my confidence? Two different questions. See, take baby steps. Don't need to be giant steps, just baby steps. And then celebrate after you've taken a baby step. I'm going to move this over, and we got a lot of questions here. Wow, you have a real support system in this group, I'm telling you. Little couple comments. I go live with gray hair and talk about how I have to cover the gray. You got to be able to laugh at yourself and be okay with that. Be okay. I remember our hair shop was closed for almost. We just didn't in Hawaii. That's the shops didn't open, and I had to learn how to color my own gray. Oh, that was an experience. And then I couldn't cut it, so my hair is like really long right now. All that stuff, it's okay. Just let it go. What's really important? What's important in life is connecting with people, making people feel special. It is not the most important thing with how I look. Yeah, I figured that out. I can relate to you, Kimberly. People said that. Thank you, Julia. We need to be our own best cheerleader. We must encourage ourselves. So we ask ourselves better questions. A different training, self-coaching, and we do cover that in the courses. Self-coaching is us asking us a better question. Very much more powerful than using affirmations. It just is. People said, you've got this. Kimberly, print the conversation and post these comments as a visual. Never doubt your genuine beauty. This is so good. You have amazing groups. Somebody sent this out and a lot of people from your company showed up here. And I love that. You shared the wealth. I'm completely agreeing. No one knows unless I tell them. Very true. You have to be relatable. You will attract people like you. You know what? People like people who are like them. And being relatable means I don't have all the answers. And I don't. I'm not all that. In Hawaii, we have this dumb saying, I'm not all that in a bag of chips, because I don't know everything and I don't want to know everything. So practice makes permanent. Very true. Practicing these things so every day. Catch yourself honoring yourself. Catch yourself saying good things to you. Catch yourself asking a question instead of making a statement. All of that is part of the growth in this business and in life. Anybody else that has something, and I hope that that was okay for you. I know it was kind of short, but at least you have some questions to ponder. Any That is David T. It has been forever since I've seen you in Australia. So glad to have you with us tonight, all the way from home. Or did you move? I heard you moved from Australia, but I'm just happy to have you with us.
No, I'm still here in Melbourne. Yeah,
Oh,
Nikki.
oh, good. I had such fun
Mm.
with your group. That was wonderful. Thank you for being with us. Anyone else that has something you want to be coached on? Or David, if you've got something that you learned from the things that I taught with your company or for your particular group, feel free to bring something out that we could reiterate. But otherwise, I want to be here for you. So anybody have something that I can support you with? Don't be afraid. It can be a little thing. It doesn't need to be a big thing or a life-changing thing.
I've got a number of team members on this line, some of whom have met you personally. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Lisa, for example, has met you personally, I'm sure. There are a number of them who have just joined us, and I would encourage them to ask questions. Yeah. So quite a number of them, mostly from Singapore and Malaysia. Mm.
Oh, beautiful. Well, glad that you're with us. Thank you for joining us. So, and David is marvelous. David, they're complimenting you. A lot of people like to ask how to increase confidence. We have a really good CD that is called The Cloak of Confidence. And I'm just going to say this to everybody. Here, that question about how can I increase my confidence is one that you will find a way for. How can I increase my confidence? How can I honor myself? How can I take a baby risk today? How can I be a little uncomfortable today? See, things will never be comfortable till you've gone through that discomfort. Enlarge your comfort zone every day. Take a step. Take a step to enlarge your comfort zone until it becomes comfortable. Are you kidding me? When I first started in direct sell, I couldn't even say my name in front of the group. I was scared to death when she asked everybody to introduce themselves. I hid in the back and I slumped way down in the chair, hoping she wouldn't see me. And I'm kind of tall. So she saw me and I had to stand up and my knees were shaking when I had to say my name. And I thought, I'm going to get through this. How can I get better at this? So I asked to do things to enlarge my comfort zone, to be a greeter, to share about a product, do those things. And these are your friends that are at these events, that are on these Zooms with you. They want to see you be successful. That's a safe place to enlarge your comfort zone. Here's another one. I'm trying to work on building my team. Okay, so just one thought. Instead of I'm trying, I am working on building my team. Whenever you say the words I am, whatever follows I am, whatever follows that sticks with you. So if I'm trying, you're trying, you're trying, you're trying, try to pick up the pencil on the desk. I'm trying. You're either trying or you're doing it. So get rid of trying. And it is, I am working on building my team. So what are the things, and here's some coaching questions for you. What are the things that you can do to actually build your team? How many more people can I connect with this week? And a lot of people think they can't connect unless they're face to face with somebody. I love connecting with people on Zoom because I can see you. And if I really stop and listen to the words and how you're saying it, I can understand and feel what you're saying. So building a team is a desire to be of service to others. It isn't about me. It's about how can I make a difference for that person. In life, when you focus on others, it's like the abundance comes to you just naturally. It's an amazing thing. What are some questions to ask ourselves to overcome self-doubt? It's kind of the same thing. Self-doubt, first of all, in coaching particularly, it's trusting your instinct. If your instinct is saying this is it, go with that until you find out it's not. No, your gut feeling is usually pretty strong. So self-doubt, what would make you doubt yourself? Maybe somebody else doubted you in the past. And I'm going to ask you, how important was that person in the rest of your life? Sometimes we carry on the voice of other people that said negative or bad things to us. And we carry that voice with us for years and years and years. And they're really not important to us right now. So at some point, take your thumb, put it on your thigh and just say, release, release. I'm going to release that story. That's no longer my story. That maybe was theirs. And for some people, it was a parent. Maybe a parent that said, you're not good enough, or you'll amount to nothing, or you're not capable, or you're not this, or you're not that. I'm going to ask you, what do they know about you today? What do they see in you? They may not be capable of seeing the greatness in you because to them that may make them look small. Again, that's one of those things to be able to release because parents are supposed to empower their children. Now I'm making a statement and I'm getting on my soapbox because I was a teacher and I saw some kids come to school that had self-doubt, didn't believe in themselves at all because that's all they heard at home. You can replay a new story. You can create a whole new story for yourself. And is that person's opinion the most important opinion to you in your life right now? Or is it your children, your partner, your somebody else? I don't know. But if you have self-doubt that was put in you, you probably didn't do it yourself. You continued with it yourself and didn't ever release the voice of that person. That's my thought on that. Our atmosphere or surroundings make a huge difference in how we become successful. You get to create your surroundings. You may be in a bad, maybe you have an upline or a sponsor that is kind of poopy. They're just not very nice and they don't say nice things. You don't have to surround yourself with that person. There are lots of other people in your company you can go to. And if at home you've got someone that is not supportive of you, you get to choose what you take in. You don't have to take those words in. You don't have to take what somebody says negative about you as your truth. That could be their truth. Doesn't need to be your truth. Ask yourself a better question. Who am I? What makes me a good person? Where in my life have I been confident before? Who loves me and who do I love? What one thing did I do today that showed that I was increasing my confidence to myself? You don't have to show anybody else. Show it to yourself. That's where it starts. How we see ourselves, how we speak out loud, what we do with ourselves, all of that is part of this, folks. So I have gone over time with you. I always do, but I just love this part where I get to really speak to you. I'm just saying to everybody, please take care of yourself. Do the right things for you. Honor yourself. And look for good in other people. Ask yourself better questions. And be that person that invests in yourself. You did it tonight. You showed up here. And my hope is that you took something from this that you can apply into your life somewhere. I just know that when we're a leader in this business, we get to give things to people that don't cost money. We get to give confidence. We get to give the ability for them to see things differently. The best coaches in the world are the best listeners. The best coaches in the world are people who care about other people, and nobody cares what you look like, how old you are, how young you are, what baseball team you're or soccer team you're rooting for. They don't care about all that. They care that you care. So practice these questions, practice these skills, and grow into the leader you are meant to be. You were brought to this business, and there's many different businesses on here. You were brought to this business because somebody saw something in you that maybe you didn't see in yourself. You were brought to this business because you had something maybe that you could learn or something that you could give. Just make something of it and watch what happens. Here's a question sharing how many hours in total is the course. You have a pre-course that you listen to a Zoom for that. And you have some things to go over in advance of the course. And then I believe there are 8 times that you meet, like for an hour and a half, something like that. It's all on the website. I didn't print it out here with me because it's the first time we've done this. Oh, here it is. No, that's not it. I thought I was so smart and I had it right here, but no, wrong. So go to dswa.org events or go to this specific link right here, dswa.org/service, and you will find the information on this course. Again, this is the only time it's ever been this price and probably never will be again. It's a good investment. You can do 2 payments, so you can break it into 2. You know, I don't like it when people do something and then they sell for the whole time. I don't like that. I had a question. I answered the question. I'm not here to sell you. I'm here to hope that you got something from this class tonight and that there's so much more that you can learn. Hello, Mrs. T. You're together. I'm so excited to see both of you. Thank you for joining us. Lots of people that I haven't seen in a long time. I'm glad that this subject interested you and that you showed up. And remember, the kings are just as important as the queens, because we had a lot of kings on tonight. Okay. Anybody with a last minute question, thought? I hope I get to see you all again. We do complimentary courses for leaders that have a big enough group. So if you're a leader in a business and you want to put together a group call, we're happy to do that. Just reach out. You can just write to info@dswa.org and we'll get back to you. And this has been an exciting year for all of us. And now, even though it was different, look back on 2020 and say, what did I learn? How can I grow in 2021? And what is exciting and ahead of me that I maybe can't see right now that's coming my way, and enjoy the journey. So everybody, take care. Have a beautiful night, day, morning. For some of you, it's still morning. And I look forward to seeing you all again. Have a blessed day. Aloha.